low. Alright, I think I'm gonna start. Well, have you ever tried trading cryptocurrencies or like automating it um, by fetching a good strategy uh, and basically making a bot to just trade, just automate the trading for you? Well, this requires a lot of steps. First step is like we're gonna be using the RBI system. So what is RBI? RBI basically stands for R means research, right? So the first step is in trading your bot, you need to research about this trading strategy that you're gonna use. So let's say you have fetched a lot of trading strategies, like for example, you can just go to ChatGPT and ask it, give me 25 trading strategies, and then you get these trading strategies, and then you need to go and search about these trading strategies, and like fetch PDFs, get anything that is basically talking about it, and you need to understand it. So, for example, let's go to ChatGPT and say, give me 25 trading strategies. Sure, I can provide you with a list of 25 trading strategies which are used by traders in various financial markets. Trend following, swing trading, momentum trading, mean reversion, value investing, growth investing, pairs trading, and it's basically giving a small description about the trading strategy. Well, so you're gonna pick one of these and create your trading bot with, but you can't just pick them randomly. You need to know if this trading strategy was winning in the past, was it losing, like you just can't pick a random trading strategy and invest into it. It's most likely not going to work because this is just random, right? So we do this by something called backtesting. Backtesting is basically uh, getting the past of the trading strategy and seeing how did it work in the past. Was it winning? What is the Sorbino? What is the Sharp ratio? What is the win rate? How did it win? How did it lose? What did it do? And based on this, you're gonna create your bot, right? You're not gonna just pick a random trading strategy and create your bot with. You need to know how it did in the past, and then you can decide if you should use it or not. And this is the second thing in the RBI system, which is B, backtesting. You just want to backtest the trading strategies you searched about. But before backtesting, you really need to understand the strategy. Of course, you're not going to understand all the strategies, but this is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. You're going to spend a lot of time backtesting because if you really did a good backtesting, then your trading algorithm is going to most likely work. Because what if you just pick a random strategy? It's not gonna work. Or maybe it will, but if it worked one time, it's not gonna work the next time. You need to have something that you're working on. You need to backtest the strategies and then compare them to each other until you find the best one. So first of all, you need to list out as many trading strategies as you can, and then research about one, backtest this one, and then finally implement it, which is I. Implement that implement that your trading bot using the trading strategy that you found out it's winning. So we're gonna focus on the B, which is backtesting, because as I said, this is your majority. This is the most important thing to backtest. So you really need to backtest as many as strategies as you can, because if a strategy was winning in the past, then it's most likely gonna win in the future. But it's not guaranteed that it's gonna win in the future, but there is a huge chance if if a strategy won in the past, and what is the win rate of it, all the information that we're gonna work on getting, then it's most likely gonna work in the future, right? So you really need to use ChatGPT for the things that you don't understand. Like, for example, maybe you didn't get what backtesting is. So what you would do in this case, you would, for example, go to ChatGPT and be like, can you please explain to me what backtesting trading strategies is? Explain it to me as I am a sixth grader. So let's see. Sure. I'd be happy to explain backtesting trading strategies in a way that's easy to understand. Imagine you have a time machine that lets you go back in time and watch how the stock market worked in the past. Now, let's say you also have a special notebook with a plan or a strategy for buying and selling stocks. This strategy is a set of rules you think might help. You think might help you make money in the stock market. Backtesting is like using your time machine to go back and see if your special notebook's rules would have worked in the past. You don't actually buy or sell real stocks. Instead, you pretend to follow your rules during different times in the past and see what would have happened. For example, your notebook might have a rule like uh, if a stock's price goes up a lot in 1 week, buy it in the next week. Backtesting lets you look at the stock prices from the past and pretend to buy those stocks according to your rule. Then you can see if you would have made money or lost money. It's a bit like practicing a game by playing it over and over again, but instead of playing the game in the real world, you're playing it in a simulation of the past. This helps you understand if your strategy is good or if it needs some changes before you use it in the real stock market. So I think this is pretty obvious that some kind of you go back to the past and see how this trading strategy work with other people. How did they use it? How did it do? Did it win? Did it lose? So this is the most important part. We can also be like, give me five analogies for back testing. Okay, certainly. Here are five analogies to help explain the concept of backtesting. Practice runs in sports. Think of backtesting like a runner practicing on a track before a big race. The runner tests different running techniques on the track to see which one gives the best time. Similar to how backtesting tries different trading strategies on the past uh, to see which one performs the best. This is the first analogy. Second analogy, rehearsing a play. Backtesting is like rehearsing for a play. Just as actors go over their lines and actions repeatedly to see if the plays flows well and makes sense. Traders use backtesting to go over their strategies to ensure they work effectively in different market scenarios. Taking a car for a test drive. Imagine you have a car that you've built or modified before taking it out on the road. You would test drive it in a safe, controlled environment to see how it performs. Backtesting is similar. It's like testing driving a trading strategy in the safe environment. Doing a science it's just you can just keep going. Like the more you don't understand, the more you can just keep lean on a chat GPT and ask it more. Like give me more examples. I don't get it. Like for example, you can say, I don't really understand it. Please explain it further. It's just going to go more and more until you actually understand it. And this is how you should use it. Never just copy something from ChatGPT or if you ask it about anything, just never just copy it and be like, okay, I'm taking it, it's working. No, this is not how you should do it. You should literally make sure that You understand everything. You understand what are you copying from ChatGPT or from the internet. And this is the power of ChatGPT, because now you can just take things from the internet. Uh, Maybe if you don't understand it, but you keep searching for resources, you keep searching for a lot of other things, but you don't get it. So at this point, you just go to ChatGPT. Please explain it to me as I'm a second grader. Please explain it further. I don't get it. Explain more. So this is the power of ChatGPT, right? So to wrap this up, first of all, you need to research the trading strategy that you decided that you're gonna use and backtest. Secondly, you just backtest this trading strategy to see how it's gonna work or how it worked in the past. After backtesting and after finding the optimal trading strategy, you go and implement it. You go and do your trading bot with it. And this is where the money comes. You just invest your money into your own created bot. You know how it's going to work. And you didn't have to invest a lot of money at the beginning. For me, I do like $100 at maximum if it's a new trading strategy that I just found out it was doing well in the past. So I can just I can give it a try with $100. So each individual has his own profile. Maybe you want to invest more. Maybe you're a little bit of a risky person. You want to give it more of a chance. You want to give it 200, not 100. Like this is just dependent on your profile. So to really know how to implement your trading bot, you could head to the link in my description. You will find this link. This is provided by MoonDev. Uh, he's gonna teach you his on YouTube too. You can just go check his YouTube profile and see how things go and how does he explain. And you can just get into his bootcamp. You can get into the bootcamp and you can see people who studied his bootcamp. What are their comments? What did they think about it? How did their trading bot do? All of these things. It will teach you the intro to algorithmic trading, machine learning, algo trading basics, a lot of things until it gets you to the point that you can create your own trading bot, which is the most important part. But of course, you're gonna need the backtesting part the most because this is, as I told you, this is the majority, right? And there's also 100% uh, back money guaranteed in case you lost or something, right? So make sure to check this out because I'm sure that this is gonna be so helpful to you. Okay, let's get back to our topic, which is backtesting. So let's go to Google Scholar. But you don't actually have to do Google Scholar because this is the researching or this is the first part. Maybe you're gonna research in any other source. You're gonna go to Reddit. You're gonna go to like anywhere, just the internet. You can research about uh, a trading strategy anywhere. It doesn't have to be in Google Scholar. It doesn't have to be in Reddit. Like just the internet. I'm sure you know how to use the internet, right? So, but for me, I like to use Google Scholar because this basically provides you with uh, books or PDFs that people wrote it, people who has too much of experience, you know. So I think this is a very good source of getting books or things, you know, especially related to the trading strategy. So let's just say let's search, for example, about the momentum trading strategy. Let's see how this goes. You will have a bunch of things here that you could read out or find out. like bunch of things, a lot actually. But let's just you just pick a PDF. Let's say I'm gonna take this one. So this is the PDF. I'm gonna save it, and then you will need to read the whole book to actually understand the trading strategy itself. There is a lot of like how many pages? It's like 31 pages. Well, it explains everything. But of course, I'm not gonna read all of this in the stream because it's gonna take a lot. So what you would also do is you would head to ChatGPT and upload your file. Wait, let me bring it. This is the file that I just downloaded with you. So we will go to ChatGPT and maybe try to distill the strategy from it without having to read all of it. So maybe you could say distill that trading its strategy, explain its methodology. Maybe if it didn't work good, we can try another prompt. No? So you just can't um, lean in it. You should like keep trying. You should keep trying, and like if it gives you something that you're not expecting, then you're like, yeah, it's not gonna work. You need to try more prompts. You need to try changing the way you write. You know. So this is really short. A recommend describes a momentum trading strategy based on the low frequency component of the exchange rate. This strategy involves decomposing the spot exchange rate into regular and irregular components using methods like Hodrick, Prescott filter, and Kerner regression. The strategy focuses on short-term momentum in the low frequency trend to generate buy and sell signals. Right, so it focuses on the short-term momentum to decide when to buy and when to sell. It aims to provide higher returns, better than directional accuracy, and lower drawdowns. So it aims to provide higher returns, right? So compared to traditional moving average rules, the strategy's robustness is tested across different time periods and smoothing parameters. Right, so you want to say maybe we can try another prompt. Mm, we could say how this trading strategy works. The trading strategy described in the document involves a momentum-based approach using the low-frequency component of exchange rates. It employs methods like the Hodrick method. Okay, this is not much of difference, but so you could also ask it to write the code for you. For example, you could be like, write me the code backtesting this trading the strategy. Let me bring Specific parameters for how to cut, the logic for signals generation, and specific blah blah blah. Right. Maybe you could be like, write me basic code of backtesting momentum trading strategy. Just showing you how you could manipulate ChatGPT into doing things for you. Yeah, it's telling you how you could load the data. I'm gonna teach you how you can get the data. It's just a basic implementation. So okay, well, let's start with implementing a trading strategy. Implementing backtesting a trading strategy. Let me look for a trading strategy that we can implement. Right, okay. I want to teach you how you could make the code run. Because as I said, this stream is for people. It's for people who knows how to code and people who doesn't know how to code. So I need to take you through the steps of implementing a backtest trading strategy. Okay, so this is the CMD of your directory here. So I could say dir. You'll see that I'm coding at this file. Dir is used to list out the directories that you have in your current parent directory, right? So first thing, to code something, you need to install the libraries or the modules that you want to use at your code. For example, we're gonna backtest, right? And of course, there is a lot of things that we will need to use from a library called backtest.py. So I could say backtest.py. We could read about it. Oh, no, I didn't mean this. Just backtest. Backtesting, I think it's called backtesting. Backtesting.py. Yeah, it's this one, but okay, yeah. This is one of the modules we're gonna use. So you need to install it, right? How to install it? You could just write app install backtesting. It's gonna work, but the point is you just don't want all of your modules to just float. Not float, but like you need to install the dependencies for the program you want to code. Maybe when you code something else, you're not gonna need backtesting. So we solve this by having a virtual environment for the thing we want to code. So let's create a virtual environment and then install what we will want to use in our backtesting. So we do this by putting this command virtual env and the name of the virtual environment you want to create. I'm gonna call it VNV. You have created a virtual environment. I think it's pretty obvious from the name of it. It's called virtual environment. Basically, a virtual environment uh, that is not related to your machine environment. You have a machine here. Your computer is a machine. You have everything you're using installed. To use this, you have it installed. To use this browser, you have it installed. To use Visual Studio Code, you have it installed. So to code something, you have also to install modules and libraries so that you use things out of it, right? So you don't want to install these modules on your computer. You want to have them wrapped up in an environment for your program or your script, your coding, basically. So we have created our virtual environment. We want to apply it. So how do we apply it? Basically, call for this activate file. I can say I can just copy the path and then paste it here. Mm, hold up. I think there's something wrong. I will need to uninstall it and recreate it. It's gonna take quite some time. So what you do after is get into the folder itself, the folder that just got created, and you write, you get inside of the directory called scripts, and then you run the activate file. Activate. Right, this is how it goes. Well, let me first delete this one I just created. Okay, got deleted. Okay, so just save this command here and recreate my virtual environment. Right. So I will get into. I will do the same command that I did before, but it didn't work because I had my folder deleted, but now I recreated it, so now I could activate it. Okay. Now showed up. This means that your virtual environment is ready to use. You have your virtual environment created, you have it activated. Now you can install everything you're going to use for your backtesting. So the first thing we will pretty much need to use is backtesting. And this is explaining to you how you could install it. You just copy this command right here. It's going to get installed. Could also look for pip and install talib. You're going to need talib, talib a lot as well. This provides you with all the functions for indicators you would want to use to backtest your trading strategies. So most of the backtesting for trading strategies is Talib is going to be needed. Okay, this is still getting installed. Alright, perfect. So we said pip install talib. I'm gonna copy it and just paste it here. We will also need pip install band.sta. Copy paste this. I'm just doing this to make sure that I could just write the command here directly, but I do this to get the command correctly, because maybe there can be some typos, like maybe it's called banda da instead of banda sta. So it's normal to forget things like this. So if I in this case if I wrote it wrongly in the searching, I'm gonna get it like in the correct way, so I will be able to use it. All right. So I think Talib didn't get installed. Let me try pip install Talib. All right, pip install Talib. There is some problem over here. Pip install Talib. We're gonna figure out what the problem is if it's not getting installed. Okay, there is some problem. In this case, we would ask ChatGPT what is causing the problem here. Like just copy the majority of the error to see why is this getting caused. I'm trying to install TLF and I get this error. Oh, so basically TLF is made in C, but it has a Python wrapper, so I need to install it on my system. Okay, let's try deactivating the virtual environment and just try to install it on the whole system. Deactivate. Okay, deactivate it. Now let's try to install TDLab. Let's see if it is gonna work. It's still folding. Well, hold up for a second. So we need to install the C part because TLab consists of two parts, the C part and the Python part. So we cannot run we cannot run the C part, the Python part without the C part. So let me figure out how to install the C part first. Just give me a few minutes. Alright, let's just try back testing trading strategy that doesn't require TLab. Okay. There is a backtesting strategy called Q-stack strategy. We're gonna create a file here, just let this file be for now, or maybe we could change the name of it and name it the Q-stack. Okay. First of all, we need to import backtesting module we just installed and import pandas as PD and import the SMA. This is SMA is an indicator. We're gonna use it in our backtesting this strategy. Test import SMA. Right. So for example, if you don't get what are these, you could head to ChatGPT and be like, explain to me this. For backtesting, this line imports the backtesting module. Backtesting module in Python is a popular library used for backtesting trading strategies. It provides a simple yet powerful blah blah blah. It's just explaining to you what these lines of code do. So this is these outliner. It's saying unknown word because I'm gonna run that code through here while activating the virtual environment that I downloaded the backtesting in. So to fix this, I could just open this here, open the terminal here, and activate my virtual environment right here, and try to run. Make sure. Okay, you need to specify a lot of argument. Okay, so to backtest a strategy, you need to create a class for it and make it inherit from strategy that is into backtest. So I'm gonna create a class. I'm gonna call it Q-stack strategy, and this is gonna inherit from a class called strategy that is inside of backtesting. And I'm doing it this way because it's inside of backtesting, and I imported backtesting this way. I could say from backtesting import strategy, and I could use it, right? So let's install backtesting on our home machine so that we just try to fix these outliners. Okay, let me hide this. All right, so this is the strategy code itself. I will explain it now. So To know how this strategy literally works, you could head to the researching part that I explained. You could bring a PDF for it and read it out and like know literally how it works. So I'm gonna explain how this code goes. So first, the init part is the initialization. It means that once we create an object from this strategy, this is gonna happen one time. Once it get created, it's gonna assign a queue stack with some calculations with the indicator called I and the signal, and then it's gonna be this is how it's going to start, right? And we calculate the queue stack, and then the next function is over you override it from the strategy class because queue stack strategy is a child of strategy, like strategy is the parent. So there is a function called next that you need to override because this next gets executed every every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes. It's dependent on the time frame you're going to specify. So we need to get data to make this trading strategy work. And how do we get the data? We head to Loxy AI, and I got a prompt to get data from Loxy. Uh, what you say is send me, let's say, Bitcoin data since 2020 in time frame maybe 10 minutes time frame. It's gonna read data. It's gonna take quite some time. So it's loading. You just need to give it time. Alright. So we need to hide this. It's gonna take quite some time, but it will give us the data that we need to backtest the strategy. Just let it take the time it needs. It's taking quite long, but it will be done very soon. Hold up, guys, it's gonna be done soon, I'm sure. But it just takes quite some time because it's fetching data from 2020, and this is the data we're gonna use for applying it on the trading strategy that we're backtesting. seems like it's gonna take a lot of time, but this is a strategy. Like if you look at it, there is a time frame that is gonna be specified here in the data we're gonna get. If it's basically 15, I said 10 minutes, so it's gonna be 10 minutes. So this is when it will run the next function every like 10 minutes. And this is when it will buy, and this is when it will sell. So you don't need to get in depth into these coding stuff. You just want to backtest backtest your strategy to get things out of it, to know how did it do. And this is what we're gonna see soon. But we just need this to load so that we can get our data. Well, you just need to wait. You need to wait. There's no way you're not gonna wait, because this is the data you're gonna work on. So I should have said like 2021 or something, not 2020, because this, of course, could take longer. But let me make the code ready. So until this loads, we're using the code stack. So after implementing the strategy, you need to backtest it. So this is the strategy itself. This class is the strategy itself. So you need to read your data. When we download it, yeah, we have imported pandas. I'll work it this way. Okay. We have imported pandas. So you need to read your data. When it's downloaded, I'm gonna put it in here, and then read it using pandas. I'm gonna say data equals to pandas.read csv, and then here I'm gonna put the directory. Okay. And bd is this, because we imported pandas as pd. And then we will ensure, like I just want the data to load so that I can show you what exactly we're going to do, so that it's obvious. But we will just do some pre-processing steps where we will ensure that the timestamp or the date column is a date time, and we're gonna set it as an index and then sort it, you know. And then we will create our backtest object, which we will get from backtesting. But this is, I shouldn't do this because I'm treating it like, if I want to treat it this way, then I should say, and then I want backtest. Okay, so let me put this. So you either bring the whole library, like, or the whole module, like import backtesting, or, and then when you use a class inside of it, you just bring it this way. But you could import only the thing that you need, and this is better, because if you import the whole module, then it's most likely going to make a lot of unnecessary things loaded in your program. You don't want that. You just want to use the backtest class and the strategy class. You don't need all of this. Like if we get into here, you will find a lot of things like this is the init of it, but there is a lot of classes inside of it that you wouldn't want to use. And I think they are making you not able to see it, but when you import something, when you import the whole module like this, you're just loading all of it in your application, and you might not need to use everything in it. So you say import backtesting, so you're gonna use it this way, but you could also say from backtesting import strategy, and then just use it here this way instead of this. And also here the same way when I'm gonna use the data that is still loading. But we could look at the output of this of the backtesting of this strategy until this loads. I have it already. Hold up. I'm gonna show you the output. This is the output. So wait, let me bring my pages back. And my code error. Right. And this is the output. Okay. This is the output we're gonna get after you finish backtesting. There is a bunch of things, and this is the estimators for the trading strategy that you've chosen. These are the things: the Sharpe ratio, the Sortino ratio, the Kalmar ratio, the drawdown percentage, the return, and you always need to have, not always, but it's just preferences. Like for me, I would like the return to be higher than or better than the buy and hold return, right? So, but again, uh, if you don't understand anything here, like you don't know what is the Sharpe ratio, like you should just head to ChatGPT, like let this load, and we will be like can you explain to me the differences between Sharpe ratio and Sortino? Actually, let me sure I'm spelling this correctly. Okay, yeah. And backtesting a trading algorithm. Certainly, in the context of backtesting a trading algorithm, the Sharpe ratio and the Sortino ratio are both matrices used to access the risk adjusted. So they are related to the risk you're going to put. So as I said, everyone will have his own preference. I always prefer the Sortino ratio to be higher than 1. But maybe you're like you will like the difference is the Sortino is only cares about the drop. Well, Sharpe cares about both. So let's just read. The Sharpe ratio and the linear ratio are both matrices used to assess the risk-adjusted performance of an investment strategy, but they differ in how they measure and interpret the risk. Here's a breakdown of each. The Sharpe ratio. The Sharpe ratio measures the excess return above the risk-free rate per unit of volatility in an investment. So this measures the return above the risk-free rate only, and this is the the formula of it, where R of P is the return of the portfolio, R of F is the risk-free rate, and sigma of P is the standard deviation of the portfolio excess return. And about this, do you know? Let me see if this loaded. Okay, it's still loading. Okay, about the Sortino ratio is similar to the Sharpe ratio, but modifies the risk factor to focus on only downside. As I said, the Sortino tells you the risk and the downside, or negative returns, only negative. But uh, the Sharpe ratio cares about the negative and the positive, which are more concerned to investors. So this is your concern. The Sortino ratio divides the portfolio's excess return over the risk-free rate by the standard deviation, and this is basically the math equation to it. So, for example, we could come here and say I have return of okay, I have back tested a trading algorithm, and I will provide you with some information to explain them to me. So I'll say, for example, I got return of how 589% return and buy and hold return of 700%. Buy and hold return of 700%. Right. What else? What else we could? Okay, we could say max drawdown is minus 33%. Average drawdown is minus 5.58%. Okay. Also, another thing that you should look at is the worst trade, the best trade, and the win rate. Yeah, this actually has very little win rate. I wouldn't recommend this trading algorithm. I mean, trading strategy. Okay. Well, you're gonna see the explanation of all of these things, and you could also ask if I should use this trading strategy for for your trading bot. So this indicates that your trading algorithm has generated a 589 return. In other words, if you had initially invested $100 in your trading algorithm, it would have grown to 689. Great. Over the backtesting period, this is substantial. Oh, let me check still. Okay. This is a substantial return, suggesting that your algorithm has been quite successful. Remember, this is not related to that data that I'm going to get from here. This is just a previous response that I got before by running this code with different data. So maybe when we have this data is starting from 2020, maybe it will be different, right? Because maybe when you backtest more data and take more time backtesting, you backtest the trading strategy from so long, of course it's gonna be it's gonna be different. So you should just know what you're doing. Right, so over the backtesting period, this is a substantial return, suggesting that your algorithm has been quite successful in generating profits. Great. Buy and hold return. This is a comparison metric. It shows that return you would have gotten if you had simply bought and held underlying asset. without any trading throughout the same period. In this case, a 700 buy and hold return means that simply buying and holding the asset would have turned a $100 investment into $800. This higher buy and hold return suggests that while your algorithm was profitable, it underperformed compared to a simple buy and hold strategy over the same period. So as I said, this is preferences. Maybe you would seek to get some information about the trading algorithm. Maybe for you, you will find other things interesting. Maybe you want buy and hold to be higher. Maybe you want the return to be higher. Maybe you want the win rate to be above 70%. Get what I'm saying? Okay. Max drawdown, which is minus 33 percentage. The maximum drawdown is the largest drop in the value of your portfolio from a peak to uh, to a trough before a new peak is achieved. A minus 33 max drawdown means that at its worst point, your trading strategy would have lost 33. So this means that at the worst cases and at the worst point, your trading strategy is going to lose 33 from its value, from its highest point. For example, if your portfolio was worth $1,000 at its peak, it's dropped to as low as $670. This is, to be honest, this is not bad. I think this is not so bad, but there is a lot of better things. We could find a lot of better other trading algorithms. Okay, this metric is crucial as it gives an indication of the risk or potential loss involved in the following trading strategy. Average drawdown. And this is the same concept, but it's just calculating the average, not the max. So the average drawdown gives an idea of the typical decline in the portfolio value from peaks during the backtesting period. An average drawdown of minus 5.5% suggests that on average the typical decline in your trading strategies value from a peak was about 5.5%, 5.6. This gives insight into the regular ups and downs you might expect when using this strategy. In summary, while your trading algorithm has generated a significant return, 589%, it underperformed comparing to a simple buy and hold strategy in the same period. See, this is a very bad trading strategy to use. The max drawdown of minus 33% indicates that there was a significant risk at the one point. The strategy would have lost a third of its value. The average drawdown gives further insight into the typical fluctuations you might expect with your strategy. This These matrices together help in assessing both the performance and the risk level of your trading. So you have backtesting your first trading algorithm. But I just want Luxy AI to load because it's gonna give me the data that I'm gonna use myself. But the output for this is gonna be similar to what I showed you to this. So you get all of the so for you, would you create a bot with this trading strategy? I mean, no. So there is a lot of other things you should look at. Maybe what is the worst trade? What is the best trade? You could ask ChatGPT for it. What about worst trade? Worst trade of minus 16% and worst trade 57%, right? 12%. Let's find out. Where is my Visual Studio Code? Okay. Worst trade. This metric indicates the largest loss from a single trade during the backtesting period. A worst trade result of minus 16% means that the most significant single trade loss experienced by your algorithm was 16% decreased in value. This is the worst trade. This is the worst decrease in value you got. For instance, if you had a trade where you invested $100, the value of that investment dropped to $84, which is logical. At its lowest point during this trade, at its lowest point, you need to focus what each thing tells. This is at the worst point, right? It's called the worst trade. So it's dependent on you. It's dependent on which trading algorithm you're gonna use, right? Okay, perfect. This is still loading. Well, let's do more trading algorithms. Okay, let me complete the code for this, and then here we will put the path of the file we should get from here. Okay, and then we will need to make sure that the timestamp column is a datetime type, right? So how do we do this? We fetch the timestamp column. This is how you fetch it, or like hold it. What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do to it? We're gonna turn it into a datetime field. Well, if it's not a datetime field, it's gonna get converted into a datetime field. But if it's a datetime field, then nothing's gonna happen. So so what this means is you're gonna put into the column called timestamp you're gonna put exactly the column of timestamp but convert it into a datetime. So this means that you're gonna replace this like you're gonna place the column called timestamp because there is a column called timestamp. We're gonna replace it with the same timestamp column but convert it to a date time. Okay, and then you're gonna set this timestamp column into your default. Let me delete this. Into your default and then say in place equal to true. What does in place do is it basically says, yeah, I'm gonna in place. What does this mean is it's gonna apply the modifications into my pandas data frame. For example, if I didn't have the in place equal true, I could delete it or maybe set it as false. And then I will have to save it into a variable. Maybe new bd, and then I use that new data frame variable. But here we just say in place equal to true, apply the changes on the current data frame, right? And then we need to backtest the strategy that we just wrote. Remember, to write the code for the backtesting strategy, it's pretty easy. You don't have to get in depth because you're gonna backtest a lot of strategies, like really a lot, because you need to decide which one you're gonna use. Because maybe if you find a good trading strategy, that doesn't mean that you should use it right on the same time. You need to understand things. You need to compare it to other trading strategies. You can't just use it. So because if a trading strategy is winning, that doesn't mean that it's gonna win in the future. It's not guaranteed, but it's most likely going to win in the future, you know. So this is the point of it is just to take you away of gambling. If you want to be a gambler, then just go ahead and search for a trading strategy and just go apply it. This is how you're being a gambler. So to get away with gambling, you just need to test the trading strategy, backtest it, and know what happened in the past, right? So, because this is not random. This is not random at all. Then you need to import the back test, yeah, import it, import it this way, and then we're gonna say pt back test, and then you need to give it the data, which is the data frame that you're gonna get from locked using that prompt, right? Okay, I'm gonna parse the data, and I will parse the trading strategy that I just created. As I told you, the trading strategy implementation part is not that important because you could just get it from anywhere. You can just tell ChatGPT, give me the code for uh, for a trading strategy called X, and it will give you the code for this trading strategy. But backtesting it requires these steps, requires you to get the previous data, using Loxy, requires you to do a little bit of pre-processing to your data frame before using it, just like that simple thing I've done here. So you have the data, you're gonna parse it as the first parameter, and then you're gonna give the strategy. What did I name it? I named it Q-step strategy. This is our strategy. This is the strategy itself. And then I'm gonna say uh, cash, how much of money you wanna give. I mean, this is only testing, right? So this is not real, but you just want to put your cash. And the commission, which is 0.002. Okay, this is the fees, right? So backtesting itself, just if you get into it just like this, you will see that it takes the data frame, which is data, as a first parameter, and takes the strategy that you created, takes the cash, takes the commission, it takes a lot of other things, right? So if you really need to understand more about the backtest class, you could do your research. See, here it's saying that it will uh, see if the data frame has these columns: open, high, low, close, and optionally volume. It's explaining how does it exactly work. Well, you don't really want to get in depth into all of these details, right? You just want to do your backtesting. So after you implement your backtesting object, you give it the data, you did a little bit of you did a little bit of pre-processing to it. Maybe in other cases you will need to do another pre-processing. Maybe you will need to ensure that all columns in the data are capitalized like this. Let me show you. When we got into here, it said data is a pandas data frame with columns open, high, low, close. If I give it up like this, it's not gonna work. So you need to ensure that your data frame uh, is like matching the requirements of the backtest class, right? Okay. Next step is you're gonna get your results. How do you get your results? By running the object. There is a function called run inside of the object you just created. Well, and this function is implemented inside of that class. So let's say run. This means that run to backtesting for me, okay? But you need to save it into a variable so that you can see it. So I'm gonna save it into results, and then I will say print results, and then it will give you this. After I run, it will give you this, but it's not gonna work now because we're missing the path of our data, which is still loading, right? So which is still loading, right? So let me bring this. Okay. So you will get this. You will have this saved, right? And then you will go ahead and try backtesting another strategy and then compare them. So let's backtest our next strategy. Let me find one. Hold up. Okay. So we will backtest a strategy called which one? Okay. While moving average. Let's backtest this one. While moving average. A.py. I'm sure this is gonna load. Okay. While moving average. Right. So the steps are pretty much similar. After I implement it, I'm going to show you the output. Because by the way, when I run this, when I run it, it will take quite so long. So you need to be patient. So to load your data, look how this is taking a lot already. And then when you get the data, you will download it and then save it into your machine. And then just copy the path of it and then put it here and then run your code. And it will give you this, but with different values. And then this is how you backtested your algorithm, your trading strategy. And that's it. That's all, literally. But you will spend the whole day and night backtesting, just to put your money. You're just not randomly gonna put your money. So we said that we will implement the dual moving average backtesting. Backtesting this strategy. Okay. So we will pretty much need the same things, but we will need something called crossover. So let me copy paste it. Well, as before, we have the backtest, we have the strategy, we have the bandits data frame, we have the crossover. But again, let's say you don't understand this that much. You will go here and be like, explain to me this. Or maybe you can say life 5. That's it, we will explain it. What is you have provided seems to be a part of a Python script for backtesting, a trading strategy using the backtesting PY. Let's break down the components of this code. Uh, from backtesting, import backtest and import strategy. This line imports backtest and strategy from backtesting module. Backtest is a class that allows you to backtest your trading strategies using historical data. You pass it the historical data as I showed you here. You pass it the historical data. I mean data from the past, and the trading strategy to test, and it simulates how how the strategy would have performed. So it gets you like it just shows you what happened in the past. But this is the most important part. But implementing the trading strategy itself is easy. Because you could just say, write me a code for implementing. Of course, it's not gonna be perfect, but pure stack strategy, stack strategy, trading strategy. All right. Let's see. How long does the making of the pot in the link and description last? Well, you will have Monday with you, going through each course he's gonna give, but it's pretty much dependent on on your on you. Like, how are you gonna understand if you will need additional explaining to things? So you could take like 2 months, 1 month, but other one would take 3 months because Moondev is just going to explain it to you and that's it. But if you don't understand things, you will head to the Discord. We have a Discord channel that you can ask questions there. You can just do whatever. You will have a lot of people there, a whole team that supports you, answer your questions, and you will access a lot of trading strategies codes that you could use and backtest yourself. And you can ask any questions that you want. And if you don't understand something, first you go to ChatGPT the way I said, and it just explains it to you. But if you actually have access to that bootcamp, I have pinned in my description. Uh, you will also have access to our Discord channel where you can ask questions, you can just ask for help, just whatever. Besides the explanation that Moondev is gonna provide to you. But we could see they are 10 lessons and there is an optional one. See, the learn how to code in Python is optional because you really just want to backtest. Maybe you're not interested in programming that much, but you just want to learn the things that would get your thing done. So these are 10 lessons. Maybe each lesson will be like 2 hours or something like this, but it's dependent on you. Maybe you will have to repeat a lot of things to understand. Maybe you will uh, like replay the video or replay the explanations of Moondev, you know. So that's all. Okay. So it has provided us with the backtest, the strategy code itself. This is the strategy code. And if you see, it's different than mine, but it doesn't matter. To code something, there is tons of ways to code it. So you could get your strategy code here and just learn how to backtest it. So let's get back to the our trading strategy. We have imported the things that we want. Let me we didn't complete reading this, but let's read it. All right. So import pandas as PD. Wait, we were here. Okay. Backtest is a class that allows you to backtest your trading strategies using historical data, the data that we get from here. Um, you pass it the historical data and the trading strategy to test, and it simulates how the strategy would have performed. Okay. A strategy is a base class for defining custom trading strategies in backtesting.py. You create a subclass of strategy and define your trading logic within it, such as how and when to generate buy and sell signals. So basically, when to buy, when to sell. Import pandas as BD. This line imports pandas library. Blah blah blah. Pandas is just a machine learning or data science module that you would use for a lot of data things. So you read the Excel file you get from Loxy AI, and then you just convert it into a pandas data frame just by reading it. It's going to be a pandas data frame, okay? And then you will do your pre-processing. It will be dependent um, on the data that you will get, if they will match, if they won't. Get what I'm saying? All right, let's head here. From backtesting lab import crossover. This line imports the crossover function from the lab submodule of backtesting. So basically, there is a submodule called lab inside of the backtesting. Crossover is a helper function that's used to identify when two series cross over each other. A common operation in trading strategies, for instance, we might use it to detect when a short-term moving average crosses above or below a long-term moving average, which is a popular trading signal. So, crossovers used a lot in uh, in the trading strategies because you use it to detect when a short term moves above or below a long term. So when they basically cross over, you get it? So it's like the point of the good thing about Python is most of the things are understandable in English. Like I bet you don't know what does crossover means, you know? So it's pretty easy. In summary, this code is setting up a Python script for backtesting a trading strategy using historical data. With the backtesting.py library, it seems to be geared towards creating a custom strategy and testing its performance across historical market data. Using tools like crossover signals for trade decision making, uh, even using tools like cross signals for trade decision making. I used left 5 so that it explains it. But well, so there is an indicator we need to set up for the trading strategy we're gonna backtest called SMA, and this is how we define it. Put this here. By the way, this is like that blue line under backtesting, just like it's about the word itself. It doesn't get the word, but it gets the module itself. Like it doesn't mean that the module is not installed. It's just a non-word because it's just about the English. So I have some settings in my Visual Studio Code that does this. But in your Visual Studio Code, I'm pretty sure that it's not gonna show that blue line below your module name. Okay, so you have implemented your indicator that you're gonna use because this strategy uses an indicator called SMA, and indicator means like uh, the lines on the chart. How does it calculate when it's up, when it's down? You know what I'm saying? So in that initialization, first of all, we need to just create our class for the strategy like this. Define the two flags as class variables, and this is the init. The initialization function just assigns the SMA1 by the indicator, and it calculates the two moving averages, right? So, and in the next, we're gonna say when to buy and when to sell. Here, no, it's not this. It's this. All right, we need to do some item to make sure that, yeah, okay. So the next is, as I said, this is still loading. Maybe because I said 2020. So this is gonna make it take quite some time because this is a lot of data and it's also Bitcoin. So imagine how much of data this should give. But after it loads, like what you do is the same with what am I exactly doing? But the difference is you're just gonna give the path of your data here. For example, if this provided your data, you're gonna download it and put it here or anywhere. And you're just gonna right click and then copy path and then paste it here like this. That's it. That's all about it. But I still want to show you how the data looks that Loxy generates, and I don't want to use any old data because I'm supposed to be showing you step by step how do I do this. So let's continue implementing. So I specified when to buy and when to sell, and these functions are of course uh, pre-defined into the parent class. Right, so if you want to know details here, you could just get into here. You will see that most of the functions that we're using are predefined, and the buy functions, the sell function, so they are predefined, but you're just giving it like if the SMA1 crossovers the SMA2, then you're gonna buy, you know. But if it's the the other way around, you're gonna sell. So next step is loading our data frame as I showed you. Read CSV and just putting your data path as I showed you here like this. Well, we still don't have it. Lux is still generating it, and then we will pretty much do the same steps for this. Let me copy it from here. Oh, not this. Let me copy it from the Q stack. I'm gonna say just the same. Alright. Well, I wanna say here the unit is milliseconds. Okay. Um, this should work. So again, but here, of course, we're not gonna give it the strategy. The Q stack strategy, we created the dual moving average, so we're gonna parse it here instead of, and we're gonna give it the cash and commission. Alright, so this is gonna print out the results. So let me when you run it, you need to call the run function inside of the object that you just created and save it into a variable and then print it. And this is what it's gonna give you. Let me show you. Alright, so let me take this. Okay, so wait, let me save it on my machine so that I can zoom in and show you. Alright, hold up. Okay, So let's just get it here. Alright, perfect. So this is the output of this backtesting. I'm just showing you the output because if I wait for this, it's gonna take ages. Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the data from here, put it in the read CSV function, so that it reads it using the directory of it, and that's it. And you will just follow up the same steps. And also about the TALib problem, it just requires me to download uh, the C TALib, but it's gonna take quite some time, so I don't want to waste your time. But there is some trading strategies that will require TLab. We will do them next time, right? So this is the output of backtesting the trading strategy. So let's see if it's so much better or not. Let's get the first one here. So this is the Q stack. On my left is a strategy that I just made, the dual moving, and on the right is the Q stack strategy. So let's compare them. Win rate is 100%. Wait, this is not the Q stack. Wait, I mistaked. Let me get the Q stack. Well, just whatever. Just leave this, and we asked ChatGPT about the Q stack, so we have our information here. So Q stack had the Q stack trading strategy had minus 16%. Right. Let's see what this had. Worst trade. Where is the worst trade? Worst trade is 416%. This trading strategy seems it's made on so little data. So let's ask ChatGPT. I have asked you about information. What did I exactly tell him? Oh, about information on back testing a trading algorithm. I just want to make sure that it remembers it. So I will be like, can you mention them to me like this? Oh, it doesn't remember. It doesn't know. Okay, just whatever. We don't have to like make ChatGPT remember it. We saved it here anyway. Okay, so we have had like, let's just copy paste this, and then you like trading strategy 1. Okay, trading strategy 2 is return 419%. I am hold return percent. X drawdown. Yes, X drawdown is minus. I mean, it's pretty much obvious how the Q stack was better, but the win rate is in 100%. You get it? But it's just about the preferences. We had the win rate at the Q stack, it was 50%. So it's dependent on your feelings, on your profile, on your risk taking. If you want to take more risk, if you don't want to take more risk, if you focus on having return more than buy and hold, if you focus on the win rate, just It's all about preferences. Which one would you like? Which one would you like to invest your money at, right? So max drawdown is 70%. Where is it? Okay. And average drawdown was average drawdown is minus 4.4%. Compare these. I mean, I should provide it with more information because this is not enough to compare the two trading strategies, but we can just compare them uh, only regarding these aspects. Maybe if like they are quite obvious that this is better in these aspects, but maybe I'm just showing you how to do it. So you would when this outputs when you run this code and it gives you the output, you just take it. It will be just as same as this. You'll have it like this, and then you can just sort it and like see what you care about, what you want to do, you what you want to focus on, what explanations, how do how do you want to compare it. The point is, um, all of these things were harder before AI, but now AI makes it pretty simple and easy. So why not just make it? Why not just guarantee uh, guarantee that you're investing? You're just investing at something that you have backtested well and compared it with other things, and then you could create your own bot. So let me keep going with this. I will say compare, or maybe I can say I have tested strategies. This is snippet of the output. Compare them and tell me which is the best one. Which is better in your opinion. Let's see what it's gonna say. Okay, it's basically explaining to you. Strategy 1 has a significantly higher return than it's obvious. It's so obvious. Of course, you wouldn't ask ChatGPT if this return is better or this because it's pretty obvious. But I'm just showing you how you would do it. You would compare a lot of other things that you don't have a lot of knowledge of. Like for example, you don't know what is volatility. You know, so you would head to ChatGPT and be like, what does volatility of 100% means? 130. What does it mean? Alright. So, which is better? See, even ChatGPT is telling you if your priority is high returns and you're willing to accept underperformance against a benchmark, strategy 1 appears more favorable due to its significantly higher returns and lower maximum drawdown. If your focus is on beating the benchmark and you can tolerate high risk, strategy 2 might be preferable. So this is really dependent on you. You're gonna backtest bunch of strategies. In this video, I only backtested two strategies, got a lot of information about them, compared them, which one is better, uh, why each one is better. I could be here for 8 hours, getting so much more information about that trading strategy. And once I find the perfect trading strategy, you just create yourself a bot with this trading strategy, and that's it. Isn't it so good and cool? Like imagine you're just investing your money at the bot you created yourself with your own knowledge, with your own data, on your own like you just did everything. So this is backtesting. I could backtest more, but we're gonna backtest a lot of more strategies in the next videos. In this stream, I was just trying to explain to you what is backtesting, how to do it generally, and that's all for today. So to know more and to know how to exactly create your trading bot, you can head to the link I have in my description, and I will also put a comment and pin it, and enroll into this bootcamp and check Moondev's videos and the streams. They are pretty helpful and useful, and it's of course it's gonna be so much better than the streams that I'm gonna do. So you enroll and just you're gonna take these lessons, and there is 100% guaranteed that you're gonna get your money back if you create your trading bot and it's not working good. There is 100% guaranteed money back, right? So but of course this is gonna be so rare. Like you literally back tested yourself. You saw what the trading algorithms were doing in the past, right? So that's all about it, okay? So I hope you enjoyed my stream, and I will see you in the next stream.